Hi everyone, this is Danny and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be painting a whimsical frog wearing glasses. Now let's get started. Starting out with a 9x12 inch canvas, and I already prepped it and painted it with a gray color, darker gray at the bottom, and I just went upwards with lighter gray and eventually white at the top. I know you can't see it, but here I'm sketching on the frog head. I started out with like a basic shape of a triangle and then just built the head from there. I try and use very basic shapes when I paint. I try and find the basic shape in what I'm doing and just build off of it. I'm just sketching on his little arms and webbed little feet. And now I'm just working on circles for the eyes. I can't draw, so I just try to really find the basic shapes in what I'm doing, and that's the easiest way I find to paint. Build off basic shapes. And there he is, coming together. Now I'm starting to paint his body with a dark green color, which is phthalo green, yellow, and red. And this will be the darkest green that I use for him. And I'm using a number 6 round synthetic brush just to paint him in. Paint his little arms. This painting was so fun to do. Now I mixed up some red and yellow to make a dark orange color for his webbed hands, feet, whatever. Paint that in. Now I'm using a lighter green to paint in his face. Light green at the bottom, and then I move in with a yellow to mix in. Go up to his lips, and I use white, light green, and yellow. I'm mixing this or blending this while it's wet, just to start out the blending process. Doing the rest of his face with that same light green color. It's just skipped over his lips, so I'll do those in a little bit. Around his eyeballs. Dog is trying to get under me. There you go, buddy. Sit down. He's always trying to get in, this dog. He's always right by my feet, I tell ya. Now I'm just painting in his eyeballs with a lighter orange color. That same orange that I used on his feet or hands, and just added a little bit of white to it just to lighten it up. Now I'm painting his lips, which just white and brown, very light color. My animals are in full swing this morning. That is my cat in the background. I don't know if the camera or the microphone is picking it up, but he is meowing and he sounds like a dog barking. My little farm of animals here. Now I'm just adding a little depth to the webbed hands with a little bit of brown. Now I'm using a light orange for the top just to add a little dimension and to lighten it up just a little bit. It's amazing how just a little bit of highlights and shadows would just really liven things up. Now I mixed a little bit of black and that dark green, very little bit of black, and just putting some shadow on his belly. Now a lighter green on the top, just getting another coat in there. Not a lighter green, sorry, it's that same dark green that I used. It's just wet, so it looks lighter. Adding a little bit of black under his chin, so you can see the separation. I'm using a number 2 bristle brush, flat bristle brush. Now I'm just lightening up that left side with a little bit of brown and white. And adding a little bit of light green. And some more darker color just to finish it off here. I go in at the end. I'm leaving this frog very basic because at the end I go in with a palette knife and I put some marks all over him, which is super fun. If you've never used a palette knife before, it is so much fun to get in there and just put paint on a palette knife and just let it do its thing. You really have not much control over a palette knife and where things how things go, so it's a lot of fun. Now I'm just doing that same process that I did on the other webbed foot, hand. A little bit of dark at the bottom. A little bit of light orange. And blend that in together just so it looks cohesive. A little lighter green on the top and blend it in to the rest of the arm. Lighten up that side and blend it on out with a light green color. Now I put a little bit of brown on my brush and just blending that in with the light green color. I just put a little yellow and white on my brush just to add some lighter highlights to that lip. Now I'm defining that lip where his mouth is, make it look like he has a mouth with some brown, and blend it in to the light brown color. And starting to come together, starting to see that judgmental look on his face. Adding a little more brown underneath the bottom lip and just blend it on out. No harsh edges here. I just flipped it upside down here just so I can get a better angle. I use that dark green just to add some depth to the upper lip area, and blend it on in with that light green color. And there he is. Doesn't take much to add depth. Adding a little brown under his eye, blend it on in, just for a little separation, so they look a little boogly. Blend that on in. Just lightening in the top of the eye with the light green and white. lighter orange now in the middle on the eyeball. Light orange, a little bit of white, and just blend it into a darker orange around the edges for his eyes. And just keep doing that until you get it the way you want it. A little white and orange, blend it into the darker color. His right eye looks a little bigger, but that's okay. Totally fine, don't really care. Still pretty cute. Now I'm adding a little bit of black in the eye. Going around the eyeball. Trying to get a better angle here. It's easier so my arm is not twisting all kinds of ways, and just blend in that black edge so it's not so harsh. Now adding in his eye pupil. Number 4 round brush I'm using here. Now I'm just sketching in his glasses, his square shaped glasses. This doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it's a painting. No painting is perfect. It's just fun. I thought this was a really fun painting to do. I really liked using the palette knife at the end to get those splatter marks. Really brought some whimsy to him. Kind of look like his bumpy scales or whatever they're called. Here I'm just using a number 2 flat synthetic brush. Just lightening up the glasses here, the earpieces. Putting some shadows under the glasses. Now I go in with my palette knife. This is where the fun begins. With a dark green, I'm using a dark green color, light green color, and I'm just putting them all over him. Just dabbing it on. You know, light green, dark green on top, and just having some fun. It adds such a nice, fun texture to him. Go in with like a turquoise color here. With it's just ultramarine blue and phthalo green. Going in with some white on his lip. And then a lighter turquoise color, which is that turquoise. I just added some white to it. And this is just a really, really light blue, light turquoise I started with there. I always have 3 shades of the color I'm using. So the turquoise, a dark one, a medium one, and a very, very light color. And it's pretty much always my process. A little bit of black under his chinny chin. Now I'm putting some light green around those glasses. He is so fun. He's so cute. A little bit of a purpley color also. It's very dark. It's hard to see right now. Some white in his eyeballs. And this is pretty much it. Just some finishing touches in the eyes, a little orange in the eye. And that is pretty much it. He is so cute and he was so fun. I hope you try this out. It was a lot of fun. Get that palette knife out and try it out, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time. Bye.